Hello and welcome to Rizzaknits After Dark. I'm Cassandra Rizzardi. I'm a knitting designer and this is my podcast all about knitting. I live here in Metro Detroit with my husband Brian and our two daughters, Viviana, who's 5, and Juniper, who is 2.5. We also have 2 cats, and this is my room. And just a little backstory in case this is your first episode, I've decided to start recording at night after my kids go to bed. I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time now and just never was able to make it work during the day because I stay home with my girls and the noise and chaos of having 2 little kids, it just never was going to happen. So we just decided to make it work. Let's do it after dark, and so that's where we are. This is my room. Welcome. If you are returning after seeing my first couple episodes, thank you so much. I told you guys I'm going to try to make every week a little better in any ways that I can, so you'll notice things change a little bit from week to week just as I start to pick up on, some new tools and skills as we podcast. Tonight, I was going to share with you what I'm drinking tonight because it's actually got a fun little story. This is, hopefully it will focus here, it's from Atwater Brewery, which is a Michigan-based brewing company, and this is the Wango Mango Wheat Beer. It's an ale, actually, and the cool thing about this bottle here, hopefully you can see that label, it's not too shiny. My friend, very good friend, Tony Roko, who is an artist, he just recently redesigned all of their labels. He was actually the best man in my husband and Mai's wedding, and so we're very proud of him. He's doing amazing things with his artwork. This is just one of many really cool things he's doing. So I just wanted to show that off. He did these cool paintings for each one. Here, maybe if I put it in front of my face, will it focus? Maybe not. Anyways, I'll add a link so you guys can check out those labels because they're really cool. And this is really delicious. I've got to get myself switched over to spring, summer brews because in the wintertime all I want is dark stouts and porters. So this is a good little switch. It's very sweet, very spring friendly. I'm going to get right into my finished objects for this week. So we're 2 weeks now in since my last episode because for the past 2 weeks we dealt with back-to-back fevers with both of my daughters and my husband and myself. We all got hit pretty hard with a fever, so it was just too much to try to fit in a podcast during that time taking care of the family. So anyways, I'm sure you guys understand. My first finished object from this past 2 weeks is the hat I've been working on for my sister. It's called Regina, and it is by, oh no, now I'm blanking on her name, but I will put the link up again for this hat pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, so that's really awesome. And my sister just went through her 3rd round of chemo, so that is why I've been making her hats, and I made her a big cozy shawl to wear for her treatments. She's doing good as can be expected. She's also pregnant, for those of you who don't know, so there's that whole complication of things. She was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer shortly into her pregnancy, so we've been getting through that. But this is the hat that I finished for her. I really love it. I talk a little bit about it in my last episode about how this band here reminded us of The Little Mermaid. It looks like a mermaid tail. The yarn is Anzula Luxury Fibers. It's really beautiful, soft, silky merino wool and cashmere. What else to tell you about this hat? I made some adjustments to it. So the pattern was written for DK weight through chunky, and this yarn is a fingering weight, so I didn't have to, but I changed it up a little bit. Thankfully, the way the pattern was written, you work the band first and then you pick up stitches. So it's adjustable. I just had to widen the band here because I didn't want it so thin. So I added some stitches in between the ribbing all the way across, and obviously I have a lot more stitches around for the back of it to make up for using the thinner yarn. Cool thing about this hat also is the way the back increases end up looking like a starfish. I don't know if you guys can see that. So it's worked inside out, reverse stockinette, and then you have these ridges of stockinette stitch on the outside that form this star. So the back of it has this starfish-like shape going on, and then we've got the cool mermaid fin on the band. So it was really perfect for my sister. She lives in Florida, and I picked these beachy colors, sky and ocean reminiscent colors. So I'm gonna send that out to her. Sorry, my hair's all crazy now. Fix that. And she already saw pictures of it. She loves it, so I'm happy. That's one way that I can connect with her from being so far away. I'm in Michigan, she's in Florida, so it's difficult being so far away from her at this time. Moving on to, sorry, I'm going to keep doing this because it's all stuck up now. Moving on to my second finished object. Some of you have seen this if you follow my Instagram feed. I called for testers this week and was very excited and pleased to see how many responses I got for people wanting to test knit this. Two of my testers that I'm excited about everybody who wants to test knit it. Like, thank you guys for volunteering it. And everybody has been so helpful with giving me their sizes so that I can work out sizing, because this is the first time I've done a pattern where I need sizes and not just an accessory. So the ladies who have volunteered have been really helpful with, taking measurements when I ask for them, and just being really open and working with me and helping me out as a new designer. So thank you guys so much for that. One of my testers is Michelle of Republic of Wool, you guys. I love her. She is amazing, and her yarn is incredible. I have tried so many times to get her yarn, and I cannot ever get it. So if you guys know where and how to get the hookup for Republic of Yarn, let me know, because I need some in my life now. It's so pretty. Her colors are just amazing. And then also I have Sarah from Orange Jellyfish Dream, another amazing indie dyer. She's test knitting it for me, and she is using some of her own custom colorways to test knit it, and I can't wait to see, because my finished object here, let me finally show you after all of that build up. This is the top, this is the back. So the back has these little open eyelets. I'm gonna do it again, you guys, I can't help it. Has these eyelets that work down the middle of your back, and then the increases continue down. I'm gonna have to scoot back so you can see more of it. So it's really long. It's actually more of a tunic length, but because of the shaping, it is shorter in the front than it is in the back. So you get this cool diagonal down your hip, and it actually is long enough to cover your butt, so you can wear it with leggings, and it looks really cute. And the front hits lower hip level. Here's the front. So the front looks just like, diagonal stripes. It has some nice shaping because of the way the increases are made. But the really fun and interesting thing about this pattern is the back. And I love, 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 love how it ended up fitting. It came out exactly what I was thinking in my head, and I'm actually really excited because I'm going to knit it for myself in a few more colors, because it's the style I love. It's fitted through the bust, has some pretty detail around the neckline, and then the bottom half of it just kind of floats away from your waist, so it's not clingy or tight around your midsection, which I've had 2 babies. I don't like anything clingy and tight around my midsection. So this couple little notes about it too. It is almost entirely stockinette stitch, even though you see some garter. I've got the only part where you really do some purling is the very bottom hem. I used now I can't remember the name of the stitch because I'm blanking, but it's knit, purl, and then you reverse it, purl, knit, purl, knit. But because of the way it's constructed and the way it has these eyelets in the back, you're doing almost all stockinette. So it's nice, like lazy TV knit if you're watching a movie or shows. Like, you don't have to think about it too much. You just put stitch markers for your increases and you're good to go. So that is that. That's done, and I am getting it written up. I am giving myself a deadline of like midweek this coming week, and like I said, I'm figuring out sizing for the first time, so I've been doing some research and reading up on how best to size it for multiple sizes, and I think I've got it figured out pretty much. I just need to do the math and finish typing it up. I keep looking over here because I have my notes. So my finished objects, we got through those. My works in progress, or as I have learned from the Legacy Knits podcast, if you guys watch them, they're really great. They have been implementing some more proper ways of speaking. So my works in progress for you ladies, that's for you. I have not much actually on the needles at the moment because I just was finishing up those others this week, but what I do have is I've got a little bit of a hybrid situation going on here. I wanted to use my scraps left over from my scarf pattern to make a hat that matches, because I have enough for a hat. So I was thinking about writing a pattern, and then I saw Hedgehog Fibers posted a free pattern on their website. So if you go to Hedgehog Fibers website, you can find this pattern. It's called Jana's Hat, Jana. It has some charted lace work in the back part of it, but so the pattern calls for just a ribbed band, and I wasn't really feeling that for some reason. I think after just working on this hat for my sister and doing that sideways brim, I thought that was so cool. So what I'm doing is actually combining the Regina hat and Jana's hat to do a little Frankenstein hat. So I've got my band started here. It's got the I-cord loop on one end. It's ribbed this direction. So I'm just working on getting the band. I'm going to do the same mermaid fin band that it was on the hat for my sister because I loved it so much. And then when I pick up my stitches to do the back of it, I'm actually going to use the lace chart from Jana's hat on it, combine the two, get the effect that I want. I'm going to use the ray, the leftover ray that I have from Madeline Tosh. Fun speckles, nice light DK weight, with the leftovers of my Pepperberry Knits cashmere. So we'll see how that goes. I'll post pictures. I'll share with you guys when it's all done. But I have trouble just doing straight patterns a lot of times. I almost always make adjustments and put my own spin on things. So that should be fun. I'm excited. I think that'll be really pretty. But we are just getting into spring now, so I don't know that I'll be wearing it all that much this year. But it'll be ready for next year. I guess bad hair days. It's always good to have a hat. What else? Let me take a drink because I am getting a little parched. Product placement. So, my other whip is actually not really in progress yet unless you count picking out yarn and buying the pattern. I guess that counts. I bought the pattern already. I am joining in the Fine and Dandy Knit Along. It's being hosted by two of my favorite podcasters. We've got Amber of Yarn Junkie. Her podcast is great. It's like my must watch every week. I've been friends with Amber for a while online too because we have babies, well, not babies anymore, they're 5-year-olds from the same month and year. We met in a birth club, so we've been friends a long time. She is hosting this Fine and Dandy Knit Along with Jacqueline of Brooklyn Knit Folk, which if you haven't watched her yet, I don't know what you're doing. As she would say, you're probably living under a rock because she's amazing. I love watching her. She's really inspiring. She's a graphic designer living in Brooklyn. Like, come on, that's like the dream, guys. It's amazing. So they're hosting this knit along, and you can go to Brooklyn Knit Folks, and I think you can also find details on Yarn Junkie Podcasts, both of their Ravelry groups. I've been following the group thread on Brooklyn Knit Folks. I know she's got all the information there for when it starts, ends, all the details. You can find it right there. Brooklyn Knit Folks group on Ravelry. So what it is, let me tell you what it is. It is textured socks. So they're these really sweet socks with this little dandelion, like the way the stitches go, they do this little thing where it fans out all across the socks and it looks like little dandelions. It's so cute. And I couldn't resist, but I've never knit socks. Never had the urge to knit socks. I know, like all of you guys are sock knitters. I'm just not a sock knitter. I mean, I think part of it is I know once I start knitting socks, that's all I'm gonna ever knit because that's what happens, you guys. I watch you guys. You knit socks and then that's all you ever want to do is knit socks. So I've been resisting the urge to start socks, but I couldn't resist this knit along because it just looked so cute, and I love Amber and Jacqueline, so I had to join in. But I decided to put my own twist on things, as I do. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing a sock, because I'm not going to wear a sock. I love to be barefoot anyways, guys. Like, I would rather be barefoot always if I could. And like I said, we just started warming up in Michigan, and so I've been boots and slippers all winter, and I'm over it. I want to be barefoot. So I'm like, I don't want to make socks and then not be able to wear them. So what I'm going to do is leg warmers. I'm going to take the pattern, chop the foot off, do ribbing on the bottom, ribbing on the top, do this textured dandelion pattern in the middle, get some little either maybe knee-high, probably just calf-high little leg warmers that I can wear to yoga or whatever, wear around. Add a little, you know, color and texture to like over tights and stuff. I think it'll be so cute. So I'm going to do, I found in my stash, I had some of this left over. This was actually one of the colors I used, try to get it in focus, in my doodler from Rizzaknits. So this was my 4th color that I added in, kind of at the last minute. I was like, I need some yellow. Yellow is my favorite color, in case you didn't know. I love yellow. It's like such a happy color. But this is not just yellow, but it's like yellow and like shades of like really golden yellow and almost a chartreuse green. So it's really pretty fun, variegated version of yellow. It's by Manostel Uruguay, and it is their Alegria fingering weight. Maybe, there we go. That looks like it might be showing up a little bit better. I don't know. It's not focusing. Sorry. All right. got cut off there for a second. I'm getting used to the fact that my camera only records 20 minutes at a time and cuts me off. So I'm going to try to regain where I was. I was talking about this Manos del Uruguay Alegria, and for my Fine and Dandy leg warmers instead of socks. But what I want to do is actually pair it with a second color for the ribbing, because I'm going to do ribbing on the top and bottom. So I'm debating between this yellow, which is a bamboo and merino blend from Frog Tree Yarns. It's called Petaboo. Isn't that cute, Petaboo? It is, like I said, bamboo and merino blend. Or my other option is this little adorable pink mini skein from Space Cadet Yarns. This is their Celeste base. It's 100% superwash merino. The colorway is called Department of Rocket Science. It's pink, but it's also very peachy. It's got some yellow running through it and also a little bit of lavender. So my choices here, you guys can weigh in on which contrasting color you think I should use, if I should go with the pink or if I should go with the bright yellow. You guys, let me know what you think. So those I'll be casting on soon, probably this week. And speaking of Brooklyn knit folks, Jacqueline, I've been just like binge watching as much of her episodes as I can. Sorry, my hair is like, I just got it cut. I love it. The girl did a great job. One of my friends on Instagram commented that it looked like an anime haircut, and I was like, that is the best compliment, because who doesn't want crazy awesome anime hair? Come on. I love it. So, anyway, sorry, tangent. I did the color myself too, by the way. I was pretty impressed with myself. I used conditioner to like blend the pink and try to, it's the first time I've tried to do that, so I got some crazy color in there. Anyway, I love color, obviously. So Jacqueline, in one of her podcasts, she showed these little animal progress keepers that she had made. She found these little plastic animals at her craft store and then attached them to the pear-shaped safety pins and uses them as progress keepers. And I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. She had a pink flamingo and I died. I was like, this is so cute. Such a good idea. And then she showed her unicorn. You guys, I hope this focuses. If not, I will post a picture on my Instagram as well. I was saving it to show you guys in my podcast first, but I don't think it's going to show up. It doesn't want to focus. But I'm obsessed with unicorns. Unicorns and the color yellow. That's pretty much who I am in a nutshell. But she offered to send me one. I was like, I will buy it and you can take all my money. But she was like, no, I'll just send it to you. So I need to come up with a way to say thank you to you, Jacqueline. We will see. I will come up with something. And along with her sweet little unicorn progress keeper, she sent me, where'd it go? Because she's in New York City, a cute little New York postcard, which I will cherish. The little note. And a box of Pocky, which I have not opened yet. I've never had this. It's chocolate cream covered biscuit sticks. That sounds awesome, and I'm gonna have them, but I have been waiting to open it to share my lovely goodies from Jacqueline first. I love my little unicorn. It's gonna get so much use. Oh, and I think it's hilarious. Like, I could not tell in her podcast when she showed it, but it's like squishy. Like, he bends. He's floppy. He cracks me up. So, that's my sweet little unicorn. Awesome package from Jacqueline. Thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline. That was so sweet. Speaking of unicorns, my friend Rachel, I talked about her in my first podcast. She is also a yarn dyer and fiber spinner. She does amazing work. She's called Fuzzy Knitness on Etsy, and she is rkirk5 on Instagram. She is local to me, so she just joined my knitting group. I invited her when she introduced herself on Instagram. We met on Instagram first, and then found out that we live very close to each other. So she's been coming to my knitting group, and I love it. And we have been working on some collaboration behind the scenes that hopefully I'll get to talk to you guys a little bit more about in the coming weeks. But anyway, so I showed up to my knitting group the other night, and she's there already, and she had a little surprise for me. It's so fluffy! I love it! So this guy sleeps with me now. It's my fluffy unicorn. Rachel, you know how happy this made me. He's so sweet. I say it's a he. I don't know. All unicorns, I always think they're boys. But I was telling my husband he needs a name. And he's like, but it's like super girly. You keep calling it a he. And so we're like, well, maybe he's just really androgynous. So he needs an androgynous name. So I was thinking of naming him Ziggy, like Ziggy Stardust, in honor of Bowie. So this is my Ziggy. My fluffy Ziggy, and he sleeps with me now. Here, he can join me for the rest of the podcast. There we go. There's Ziggy. Thank you, Rachel. And I wanted to talk about, I've been watching all the podcasts, like all of them. I've just been watching all of them. I get so much knitting done watching podcasts. I hope you guys like feel the same way. Like, listening to somebody else talk about their knitting is just really good motivation for knitting. So I have been listening to all of them. I've been watching Eric from Sticks Plus Twine. I've been watching Legacy Knits. Love those girls. The O-Loops. They're actually called something else, but their Instagram is O-Loops. But one of the girls that I have really been enjoying and I feel like connecting with, even though like we've never actually spoken in person or anything, but Candace from Pin Feathers and Pearls. We're both geeks. Like, if I could turn my camera right here, you guys, I have a whole bookshelf of comic books and like geeky books and movies. Me and my husband, like, we have little Batman and Superman and Harley Quinn. I'm looking around because in my room we've got, like, we're total geeks, you guys. We love anything geeky. We've got the Lord of the Rings trilogy up there. I've got a Kylo Ren sitting on the shelf. Like I said, shelves full of comic books, boxes full of comic books. I love, the ones that I read the most are Saga. I love Saga. Saga is this intergalactic, like, space drama between star-crossed lovers who have a child and, like, their planets are at war, and it's really adult content, but it's such a good story, like, really real story, but based in this, like, crazy space setting. So Saga is amazing, and I read the Batgirl series, I've been reading the new version. I've read Swamp Thing and a lot of Batman. Spider-Gwen. Oh, there's the whole list that I could go on and on. Anyways, we're big geeks. We love comic books and comic book movies and all things comic books and things related. So, anyways, Candace, every time she like drops little geek nuggets of goodness, I'm like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I love it. So she does the Pin Feathers and Pearls podcast. I don't think I even said that yet. Tangent. Sorry, guys. The Pin Feathers and Pearls podcast with Candace. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Go watch her. She's really fun. Very talented knitter. And then the other podcast that I wanted to mention was Victoria of the Beady Butterfly Threaded with Fiber. She's got like two names. So on Instagram she's the Beady Butterfly. On YouTube, she's threaded with fiber dash the beady butterfly. And Victoria is from the United Kingdom. She has so much talent. So she sews and crochets and knits and beads. So she does a lot of beading and like multimedia work. In the last episode I watched, she had done these beautiful brooches so she combines like all of these things. She's got lace work, and then on top of that she's got little crocheted flowers that are very detailed, and then she'll add beading and little fancy buttons and jewelry and make these amazing brooches on top of everything else that she does. Like she does these amazing knit shawls, and I loved listening to her. And not to say that she is in any way like Martha Stewart, but in the same way that I am like obsessed with Martha Stewart and have always been, like listening to somebody that just knows their craft so well, and it's just a very calming and soothing voice and presence. I loved listening to her. So she has this like really beautiful butterfly garden studio. So her studio is in her backyard garden, and it just looks so cozy and wonderful, and I would love to just visit and spend a whole day sitting and talking with Victoria. She gave me a really nice shout out in her last podcast too, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. That I had a little mini heart attack when you mentioned my name, and then when my husband came home I queued it up to the spot where you mentioned me, and his face lit up too. He's like, oh my god, she just said your name. I was like, I know. That was awesome. So thank you. And I think just before I started the podcast, I got an ear burn on Ravelry from Candace. I think she might mention me in her most recent podcast. I gotta watch it. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna go watch her. So I think she did, and if so, I'll give you an preemptive thank you. But I'm excited to watch yours now. I was gonna watch it anyways because it's on my list. That was my whole. No, I lied. I have one more thing to share with you guys. I submitted my scarf to Pom Pom today. I've been working on getting my submission together. They had a list of requirements that they wanted when you submit. So I was getting that together. A friend from my knitting group is actually test knitting it for me right now too. So far, so good. She's able to work it. It doesn't seem to be any problems. So I submitted today, and they say that if you're submitted, they'll let you know within the first week of April. So I'll know by then. And either way, it's going to be good news, because if it's accepted and they're going to use it, then yay, I'll be published. And if they don't, then yay, I'll publish it on Ravelry and you guys will get it sooner. So win-win either way. But if you guys can throw out some prayers and good thoughts for that, I'd be super excited to get published. Another little thing I did this week, I am basically an art school dropout. That sounds worse than it really is. I went to college for an art degree. I was working on a Bachelor of Fine Arts. I started dual enrollment when I was still in high school and went to a local community college. That got me started. And then when I graduated high school, I started going to Eastern Michigan University, and I worked there for several years on my Bachelor of Fine Arts. And then we moved to Kansas. After I got married, we moved to Kansas, and I transferred to the local university where we were living there. I was working on my degree still, and then I got pregnant with my daughter, had to go on bed rest, and then I became a stay-at-home mom. So I'm so close to having a finished degree. It's embarrassingly close. I'm 20 credits away from having it, but as of right now, there's just no time. I'm working on things, and so anyways, I have this art background. I paint, I draw, I've done photography, writing. I love poetry, and I've done a little bit of everything. I've done sculpting, jewelry making, metal smithing for jewelry. Done a little bit of all of it. But my real, like, second after knitting is watercolor painting. So I've been having this urge to, like, get out my watercolors and do some skeins of yarn because they're so beautiful. So the other day I just had a few minutes to, like, draw with some fine point pen, and then I didn't have a chance to get out my watercolors because with the kids around it can get a little messy. So instead I just used some, like, Copic markers to fill in some color. But I just wanted to share with you guys my finished, I don't know if that'll focus. I'll post a photo of it on Instagram too. But I'm going to do more of these with actual watercolors instead too. I did this one, like I said, with pen and then filled it in with the Copic markers. But that's my skein. I'm going to do more. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Might send them to people as presents or cards, or just hang them up around, because who doesn't want more yarn around them. So my other little doodle was, I can't show you the finished photos from our photo shoot with the scarf, but I did do a sketch of one of them. So I figured that's not cheating, right? I can kind of show you this. It's not even going to focus anyways. Anyways, so that was one of my sketches of one of the photos we took that day. I might take a picture of that too and post it on Instagram. I think that's all for today. This is going to be quite a bit longer than my first two. Guys, I'm trying to make it more bang for your buck each week. And let me just take a little double take, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I'm probably forgetting something, but I'll just leave it there. Me and Ziggy will say good night. It's late. I hope you all enjoyed, and please subscribe if you enjoyed watching. And I will be back hopefully next week with a new episode and new designs and patterns. Oh, I have another design in my head that's coming at ya. I'll talk about it next week. But until then, good night, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.